What's up, everybody, and welcome to Pillow Talk, Moment with the Mobleys. I am Johnny Mobley Jr.,
And I'm Deidre Mobley,
and we are an ordinary couple
with extraordinary purpose.
What's up, what's up, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, girl? What's up, sexy?
You can say, what's up, girl?
What's up, sexy? Okay, you a grown woman out here in these streets. What's up, woman?
Hey, boo. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on with you?
It's good. It's good. It's good. I'm good.
How you feeling about life right now?
I'm feeling encouraged. Encouraged, yes.
Great word. I'm feeling grateful. So we are encouraged and grateful.
Encouraged and gratefully grateful.
Cause like my grandmama used to say, it could be so much worse.
Did she say worse?
Yep, and we said yes, ma'am.
It could be so much worse.
Yes, ma'am, and that's what we said. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well,
if you say, grandmama, dang, how you?
What was that? Her going upside your head?
Smack it. No, that's in your mouth because you ain't got no. You don't talk when grown people talking. Your grandma ain't never told you that. When grown folk talking, you don't supposed to talk back. So even if they tell you the wrong thing, you're supposed to sit your tail leg. And see, these kids nowadays, they don't.
You said you were just supposed to take it.
Yeah, when you
was just supposed to take it then.
Open your mouth, say something. Now you got these kids. Anyway, we'll keep it moving. Oh,
how was your day?
Today was a day as usual, but as always, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I am grateful because somebody out there would love to have my shoes, walk in my footsteps. And I
have your job, moving. Have a job.
Yeah, have my woman. Yeah, that ain't gonna never happen.
It better not.
Ever.
You sure?
You said if I'm sure, you want to rethink that what you just said?
You are absolutely right, sir.
I need you to reverse that back.
Me and my loving and my body and myself ain't going nowhere.
All that.
Yep.
All that.
You look nice with those shades, with those glasses on.
Do I?
Are those the first glasses?
These are the first glasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other glasses, I was trying to be sexy and get the 3 different things in it.
Yeah.
That wasn't working out because I kept doing like this, trying to see stuff.
Yeah.
As far away I couldn't see, and I take the glasses off, I just couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
So I need these because I need it up close and personal. I don't need them for long distance, so I can take them off for that. So I got to go back and get my eyes checked.
I just need to go get mine checked. Period.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. Y'all just pray the strength of my eyes.
You fine. You got that. You got that long vision.
What?
That long vision.
Okay. I need to get some more context.
That's fine. Then you get longer vision.
Whatever. I'm just gonna sit over here and sip my tea.
All right. Well, we're gonna move forward. I heard that we got a question that one of the
listeners,
mob stars actually wrote in and wanted us to give an answer to.
Really?
And it actually goes with the topic that we're going to talk about today.
Excuse me. Does it?
Yeah. Tell the people we're going to talk about today because I just lost it.
So
fear, anxiety, and insecurities.
So listen, is this something like where, like the is it something like we gonna read this question?
Yeah.
And then we'll answer it.
Yeah,
and go into some explaining about what's going on.
Yeah, so
it ties together really, really well too.
Yeah, so the topic we're going to be talking about today, we've peeled a couple of layers off. We're going to peel another layer off for you guys and kind of get a little deeper into our lives a little bit, and we will talk about some of the fear, anxiety, and insecurities in relationships. So as we move forward, of course, everything we're going to talk about is about us, but we're going to try to
shed some light
on a broader
some of our story platform. And still as we have been, and so give y'all some information.
You got that question?
I do.
By the way, if you have a question about anything, if you want to us talk about a topic, all you have to do is email momentswiththemobleys.com. Correct?
No.
That's not right?
momentswiththemobleys at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Yep. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna get it right one day.
I need you to hurry up. It's been
I know.
It's been
It's been a
since
minute.
March.
You're right.
Yeah. Thanks.
Email your question, comments, concerns to momentswiththemobleys at gmail.com. We will also take your questions on YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is Pillow Talk Moments with the Mobleys. Just search that. It's not
Moments with the Mobleys.
Moments with the Mobleys.
YouTube. Yes,
if you go on YouTube and put in the search box Moment with the Mobleys, you're gonna find us.
Yeah. We're gonna have to practice.
What other platform?
We're gonna have to practice this when we get finished. And what?
Instagram.
Moments with the Mobleys. Twitter. Mobley Moments.
All
and
that.
Facebook, Moments with the Mobleys.
You already know I struggle with this. Remember the beginning of the podcast when I couldn't get the Pillow Talk Moments with the Mobleys?
Baby, I didn't go here. You went here.
I know, but I wanted to give the people something. Was the flow not good?
Yeah, I was trying to help you, but I didn't want to, jump over you.
Okay.
I got you. I always got you.
So you got all that.
You ready for the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you interrupted me and didn't know what you needed to say.
You're right. Go ahead.
Okay, so it says, Dear Mobleys, that's us, y'all. First off, let me just say that I would like to remain anonymous. My family listens to your show, and I don't want to be talked about in the family group chat. I feel your pain. I wanted to ask how you tackle self-doubt and insecurities as it deals with your spouse. Really briefly, my husband and I fell in love hard and fast. We dated for about 6 months, then got engaged for 3 months and married on our year anniversary. It was beautiful, and I can honestly say he checked all the boxes for me. He checks all the boxes for me. We have been married 3 years. My problem is that I am waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. Let me explain. My husband found me when I had gotten out of a long-term relationship that ended abruptly. In that past relationship, I had discovered that my guy had been unfaithful, and we were never able to move past it. So about a month after that terrible breakup is when I met my husband and I met. And it has been great. He has never given me reason to doubt him, but I have insecurities that he will either cheat on me or wake up and realize that he made a terrible mistake. I find myself trying to figure out if his affection towards me is genuine. How can I move past these feelings and actually get back to enjoying the moments in my marriage? Phew! What is a phew?
All right.
That's a lot.
You
want to tackle it first?
I'm pondering.
No, I don't need you to ponder.
I'm pondering because there's so many different things, and the one thing that I love about this is probably going to be answered because we're married. We'll probably have some of the similar things to say.
Absolutely.
But because I'm a man and my mind thinks one way, and you're a woman, your mind thinks another way. You can speak from a woman's perspective,
right?
As I will speak from a man's perspective.
Okay.
So would you like for me to go first?
I would.
All right. This is some episodes ago we talked about couple counseling, and most people believe when they go to couple counseling, like we highlighted, that going to couple counseling does not mean nothing is wrong with your relationship. It means it's basically a checkup. You getting a checkup. You making sure things are good. You have to be honest with yourself when things like this happen. You will not believe how many couples are walking around and the husband is feeling certain kind of ways in certain areas of the relationship, as well as the wife. So when
this is what's happening with this individual. With
the husband probably has no idea what's going on. Because I mean, that's just how. I ain't saying we handle the situations when they come up. Some men do think through stuff. But most men, we handle situations. We are problem solvers. We want to be secure. We want to protect. So when danger or something appears in front of us, we go after it and we try to protect our family, our wife, whatever the case is. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we do.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when something like this is happening, especially if this woman has been covering it up, I've always said in a relationship, the first person that you meet in your relationship is not the person that is actually the person. They're just not. And I always say, imagine somebody holding up a picture of Denzel Washington or Halle Berry or whoever, and they saying, this is who I am, and I'm like this. I have characteristics like this.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fine for that first date. But try 6 months down the line, they can't hold that picture up with their arms because their arms will get tired. Most of the time, this is when a person always saying something happens in a relationship, and they say, well, where did that come from? You've never treated me like that, or you
Mm-hmm.
never talked to me like that, or you
Mm-hmm.
never. That's the roots of some of the stuff that people don't deal with. They get hurt, they cover up, whatever the case is. So that stuff, because you don't handle it, does not mean it doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think they have control over things like that. So that in her perspective, I think she need to be honest with him.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very honest. He probably knows the story, but the way she presented the story to him is probably he took it based on how she presented it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So if she said I'm good, then he's possibly gonna believe that. Being that they just got married and she just came out of a relationship, they got a lot of gelling left to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've been married for 3 years.
Yeah,
and so that's still, of course, early.
They got a lot of
considering.
gelling. It's a part. It's a time in your relationship when you work on stuff and you mesh together like never before, and you begin to find your rhythm. You move in it. You walk in it. You always singing the same song, whether you're together or not. And when I mean same song, the thoughts are alike because you begin to walk in that oneness that God designed for a marriage to be.
Yeah.
So I would say to her, be honest with her husband, sit him down. I would say definitely think about talking to someone.
Yeah.
She want to make sure she's in this for the long run and just not in it to satisfy that layer she's on right now to keep the other part down. So she want to make sure she's not in a I want to feel good mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then when realistic stuff begin to happen in a relationship, in a marriage, because she hasn't dealt with that stuff, the residue of something that might happen in her relationship now might take her back to her past relationship, and she react based on her past relationship.
Well, and I think that's what it is. The mere fact of that she wasn't healed from the trauma
Right.
that happened in the previous relationship. She wasn't, she wasn't she hadn't gotten healed from it, and it wasn't healthy, even when she met her now husband. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I would say. You my sister, you sis, you weren't healed. And you met the who's now your husband, and it's like you're living in this facade and probably trying to be,
They took your mind off it.
right. Everything is okay. I'm good. I'm good. But like you say, you can hold up this, you can hold this pretend picture in front of you, but for so long, because your arm's going to get tired and it's going to come down, and the real you is going to come out, and your real response to different situations that trigger something that happened. You know what I'm saying? In the past. Point in case, I remember I remember just us early on, in our marriage, just some of my fears and insecurities just about myself, for me, because you were truly my first like real boyfriend. And I know for me, it wasn't so much that I thought you were with somebody else. It was just my insecurities of, myself, of how I look, of how I don't look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never been a little girl. I've never been skinny or or anything like that or whatever. I've always been meaty.
Right.
And so for me to become, to be completely honest, even throughout, high school, I was, always considered, to be big boned, as my grandmama them used to say. And for me, Johnny, to be completely honest, there were times when I was like, well, I want to be that shape, or I got too much. Well, no, I'd always loved the fact that I had, you know, hips, but
Me
um,
too.
whatever.
Still to this
But
day.
but at the end of the day, there were times when I compared,
Yeah.
and that's a crazy word.
Yeah.
That's a bad word. I would compare myself to um how other people, looked or their body shape,
Right.
or stuff like that or whatever, and was like, well, I wish, my legs weren't so big, or I wish this, or I wish that. But, and why I say, when I say comparison, the first, of course, I relate everything to a song because my life is a song.
Yeah.
Comparison Kills by Jonathan McReynolds. Like, when that's a complete, you know, um, confidence killer. Just it puts you in a space to where I feel like you want to be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
God didn't create you to be. It's nothing wrong with appreciating how somebody looks or how they dress or just whatever. But the mere fact of you comparing yourself to them, that's what, takes you to a place that you don't need to be at. Or that's
Right.
what makes you not fully appreciate who God made you to be.
Right.
So, like I said, the insecurities, and things or whatever, all that is that, this young lady is saying is that, excuse me, is that she still has insecurities within herself. She still has baggage from the previous relationship
Absolutely.
because, like she said, he was unfaithful to her, and they weren't able to move past it. Therefore, the relationship ended. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the first thing that you said, she has to be completely honest with herself.
Yeah.
That and if she knows that, your husband now checks all your boxes and all that stuff, and he seems like he is there and into you, then, first and foremost, what you're going to have to do is, like you said, just be, before she can even sit down with him, Johnny, she's going to have to be honest with herself. She's going to have to be honest
100%.
with herself to
100%.
say, okay, I'm tripping. What is it that, how do I deal with the trauma that happened with me in the past? And like you said, even if you need to go talk to somebody, that's going to help you process that and process that hurt. And if some people, you may want your husband to be a part of it, that session or that particular conversation, or maybe that's something that you need to try to release on your own before you go to have a conversation with him.
I think it needs to be a combination of both. I believe that they need to go together initially, and then I believe that it needs to be her that works on some stuff so some stuff can be laid out. I do believe that I do believe that I would even say that he would learn some stuff too.
Yeah.
I do believe that
Yeah.
it'll help out a lot. When you and when we go jump into this young lady, what we will tell you is, I definitely would tell you to be, if this is really truly the man of your dreams, he is the guy that you married. I think it is worth you really, really trying,
Yeah.
because what you're feeling right now, your emotions are real deep and you have some hurt to it. So he will eventually not be, he was the new thing in your life that took your mind off of it. Soon he will become the familiar thing in your life. Then you will start paying more attention to some of the stuff that you don't like that he do. Some of the stuff that he don't like that you do. A conversation that he might try to have with you on whatever the situation is. So you have to be honest, tear the layers down, and get to the root of the thing to really give this marriage a chance. That's how you have to do. But I will definitely, we encourage you to be straight up truthful with yourself.
Yeah.
Everything else will fall in place. But you have to be truthful with yourself, because this will be a transformation time for you to set down everything, find out why you allow certain things to happen, find out why certain things bother you the way it do, try
Or
to
trigger
certain feelings
or emotions.
try to tap into your identity, and then start grabbing a hold of the things that make you valuable. So that's gonna have us
Because
jump
there's some
in.
confidence stuff
Yeah,
going on there too.
that's
Or
gonna have
lack
us
of.
jump into what we're talking about today. So we're talking about fear, anxiety, and insecurities in your marriage. So a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, I'm gonna say us.
Us.
Just like you just talked about,
Talk
you
about us.
having
Yep.
some insecurities.
Yeah.
The one thing that the first, we're gonna give you four key points. So the first key point, what I was just telling this young lady, was she need to take stock in her value. Most of us live our life, and we get so used to living our life on a daily basis and getting through the day, that we don't take time to celebrate our wins.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if it might be the same win, you don't take time to celebrate the positive, what's good in your life. If you got children, how they behaving, how they doing in school, how they moving forward, their perspectives, how they think, they make choices. You don't take time to look at these things. I got a friend that I've always told, he has a high leadership part in a corporation, and I always tell him, every now and then you have to stop and turn around and look at what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the seeds that you have planted, and look at the ones that have manifest.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, how do you know you're getting better? You can't always depend on somebody to tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
I've even had people who was on my side, who would have my back until I got to a certain status. Once I got to a certain status, they changed.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have my back no more. They ain't had a whole lot to say no more. You know, when I asked about certain things, it was well, I mean, I feel you, but and I'm like, but this is the direction I'm going. This is the platforms that's happening. These are the places and the different levels that's going. What you mean? Well, I just really don't, think you're doing a lot of that, and you're not doing this, or you're not doing that, and what about this over here? You neglecting this, and yeah, but ain't nobody else saying that. That's just you saying that. So even when you go to different levels and transform into different levels, even the people who were down with you for however long, it's a certain altitude that they just can't fit in no more.
Mm-hmm.
That their mindset and they thinking, it just can't fit there no more. And I'm not nobody who leaves anybody behind. I give opportunities. Now, my whole thing is, I will give opportunities, we will give opportunities, and we will help train. But if you don't put forth the effort to move in that direction, that's what I can't, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you start moving in them directions and you start getting to altitudes that are brand new, that you're not familiar with, that are exciting, you can immediately tell who is with you and who is not. Now, if you don't have a strong enough mindset of you building everything on false value of yourself, then that can turn you around. Somebody saying something to you like that can turn you around. When I was in school, I was a fat kid pretty much my whole life.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, I was a fat kid.
When is the time that you remember that you felt the most insecure about
when I was able to buy
yourself?
my first pair of Lee jeans. Lee jeans was in style at the time. They wasn't Levi's or nothing, but they were Lee jeans. They had the different colors, burgundy,
No, I
the
still
blue.
felt insecure.
Insecure.
Yeah.
I
think you were going to talk about it as far as when you were in school and when you were chubby.
So when I was chubby, I always had a great heart. So I was always lovable with everybody. So I didn't really get treated too bad. Of course, I got the names, Fat Boy, all that good stuff like that. They did what they did. But, at that time, because, my mom and my dad, they really kept me close and kept encouraging me and wouldn't let too much of that stuff stay in one place.
Right.
I remember this one time I wanted to be a part of the big kids so bad that it was these guys playing with some tires. You remember this? Did I ever tell you about this?
You did.
It was these big dudes playing with some tires. They was a little bit bigger than me. And this is what they was doing. They was taking, and I saw them do this every day after school. So they played football, Pee Wee football. I didn't play. And I would watch them play football. I would watch them do all that. And then they would go and they would have a guy stand up and they would put tires around him until they stacked them above his head. And then the guy, they will hold the tires down, and the guy in the tire had to break out of it like the Incredible Hulk. So they kept doing that. And I would look at it, I was like, man, I probably could do that. One of them noticed me, and they called me, and they said, hey, man, we see you watching us every day. You want to try it? And I was like, yeah. Now, I was way smaller. I was a chunky kid, but I was smaller. So they put me in the tires. And what they did was, I say, so don't stack them that high. Yeah, we got you because you're not as tall as us. Okay. What they did was they stacked them my height, which was probably about 4 or 5 tires. And then they stuck about 4 or 5 more tires over there. And then they dipped. They was holding it down. I was trying to break out of it and I couldn't. So I was like, all right, guys, let me out. Let me out. They were like, keep trying. So I was pushing. Didn't know one of the facilitators was coming over. So I was, by this time, I done started crying. I'm trying to get out the tires, No joke wouldn't let me out, boy. I went to cussing. Y'all, such and such better let me out this. I will whip every such and such. I was going at it. I was in there crying. I was hyping myself up. I was mad. And I was looking up. I said, I know y'all hear me. I'm going to beat every last one of y'all such and such. And I'm a such and such. And then I looked up and the teacher was looking down at me.
The cuss.
I said,
if y'all don't know those such and suches, was him cussing.
Oh, Lord. Never forget that day. He took me out the tires. They brought me to the office. They called my mama. My mama was so mad with me because this is what the teacher asked her. I just don't understand. Where did he learn all those words from? And my mama said, she was looking at me like I taught you them words. I'm like, I mean, you said it every now and then. No, I'm just playing.
But even in that moment, when they invited you, would you say that? Because I think, when you told me the story, and I think that it was saying a lot to how you felt about yourself. Because you just wanted to be accepted. Yeah. At that point, you didn't have take a lot of, as you said, value. You didn't think of yourself.
Well, I didn't know as valuable. Right. I was still trying to find myself. So what they was doing, I knew I wanted to play football. I wanted to be athletic and sports and stuff like that. At that time, I wasn't positive how I was going to do it. I just knew I had to get the weight off. I had to do some other stuff, So, that time I thought that was my moment. Yeah. So if I can show that I can do what they do in this moment, that's going to accelerate me a little closer to where I'm supposed to go at. But not knowing where I'm supposed to go at. Right. But I just thought it would accelerate me.
But years later, and I know this, so I can tell you a story but I can't tell the story from a perspective of, were there times in our relationship that maybe you haven't told me about that you felt insecure, or you felt, anxious, or you felt, like you weren't being who you were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't confident in who you were, for me, or confident in our relationship.
I'm going to tell you, and this going to sound crazy. I'm going to tell you my scariest time was when I started playing football. I lost weight. I went to basic training and came back. We did that split option. And I came back my senior year to finish school. So I went to I did 11th grade. Me and a friend of mine, we went to basic training and then we came back. So still not knowing who I am, thinking I got a hold on it. I knew I was a leader because when I was in basic training, me and my friend, because we was in RTC, we did all these things. We were leaders. I never, because most of the time growing up, once I lost the weight thing, I never was scared to try things. Like, when breakdancing was in, learning how to windmill and all that, I never was scared to do that. When when it came to girlfriends, I didn't know what I was doing. So it would be like, if this chick liked me, you my girl. And then if somebody else liked me and they was a level up, then I quit you, you my girl. And that's literally how I did it. I quit you, you my girl. Now, that's the short version. I was not a nasty. I was not a nasty person, so I did not do them like that. So whenever I say that's it with you, I'm going with this one, all of us will still be friends. Cause we were just cool like that. That's just who I was. The scariest time in my life, one of them is when I met you. When I met you, it changed something in my life that I didn't know what changed. And that was scary. I just didn't know what that was. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if it was a bad thing. I didn't know nothing. But it was a connection there that I just did not know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when I did stupid stuff, I would still try to hold on to you.
Yeah.
I never would let you go. Now, anybody else, now when it came, if I was gonna lose you, if you notice, everybody else would get cut loose. And I had to focus on you. But it was always, I could not lose you. I didn't know why, but I just couldn't lose you. Scariest time is when I came back from basic training. I probably was in the best shape of my life. Body was tight to death, six pack, the whole nine. And the response that I got scared me. I didn't know who I was. I came back, and now the quote unquote I thought dream body that I would always wanted, I had.
Mm-hmm.
And the response from people were different.
Yeah.
That's when I noticed that I wasn't who I thought I wanted to be. That wasn't it, because I didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So you the head cheerleader, you ain't never said a word to me in your life. But now you calling me, I don't know how you got my phone number.
You still answered the phone, probably.
I did.
Exactly.
And I hollered at him, so shawty.
That defeats the purpose.
But
shawty.
I didn't, at that time, I didn't know. But that was the scariest moment. That was the scariest moment to me, because most men would be like, I'm in there, I'm running it, we go do this, I'm gonna holler at her, holler at her, holler at her. That just wasn't. I just didn't understand it. It scared me. That's why I told you, if I ever went to play football pro, I probably wouldn't have had you, because I probably had 95 churn and I'd have been out there, because I didn't know. I needed to be in a better headspace than ever. So even in that moment, I was more insecure then than I was when I was a fat kid. When I was a fat kid,
because it wasn't what you thought.
Yeah, when I was a fat
it was
kid,
gonna be.
When I was a fat kid, I had real love. My parents loved me. I had real friends who really liked me because who I was. I had, female friends, male. I had real people. And I had encounters that happened. First major encounter was probably that with them kids. But I had major encounters that happened when I was a fat kid. But whenever I said something or did something, I had a support team that was crazy. So I never had an opportunity to stay there. I couldn't say I didn't have nobody, but I always felt better. But when it got to that part, it like shifted me to a whole nother world, to where I can say now that it was materialized because I looked the way I looked, because they thought certain things was going to happen, because they thought NFL, because they thought the military, because they thought this stuff. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. And I was like, okay, but what if I can't give you that?
Yeah.
I never said that to them, but that probably was my most fearful time and my most insecure, because I didn't know who I was.
But I'm talking about now. I'm going to bring you forward because we'll stay there for a long time, and then we'll be
Whatever,
5 hours in deep.
Whatever.
I love you. You know I love you.
I know.
I got to pull you back in though, because we're talking about the first thing. Take stock of your value. But even in that, you were learning a lesson about, how to value yourself. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward it here now to because we are talking about in as far as in a relationship.
So in a relationship, we've talked about this in a couple of episodes in the beginning. I didn't know how to be the man for you. So I did the traditional stuff, quote unquote traditional stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I worked more to bring more money
Yeah.
in because I thought that would make you happy.
Yeah.
And then when I saw you with the tears, and when I saw you not cleaning, and my mom ain't want to give you the book and all this other stuff, when I saw that stuff, I didn't know how to fix it. And I thought I was gonna lose you. So I just kept working more.
Okay. Well, let me share this. Under the take stock of your value, it says when you feel insecure, you're often focused on something you feel is lacking about you. So that's why I was saying, like, okay, so what did you feel, that was lacking about yourself? In that instance,
I wasn't enough man. For you.
Yeah. And for me, I felt like, to just be completely honest, I felt like you said, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was for myself, so I surely didn't know, who I was for you as a wife.
Right.
Or, I did, even as, at the beginning, like the girl's mom. So that's why I was like, we just gonna play all day. We gonna keep it simple. We just gonna play all day. I'm gonna feed y'all, and then we gonna just play all day. You know what I'm saying? But in this stuff that we looked at, it says in most well-matched relationships, each partner brings different qualities and strengths that complement the other. It is possible to be equal in different ways. To feel more secure in a relationship, it helps to know what you have to offer to the other person. You don't have to be rich or beautiful to offer something, because it could be personality characteristics are far more important to the overall quality of a relationship, which I think that's absolutely true. And I've always told you, like, no amount of money in the world could take the place of who you are to me. You know what I'm saying? We're genuine with one another. I feel secure in our relationship. I feel secure first and foremost in myself now, because it wasn't always that. Now in myself, and so now I can offer that, or I can feel that secureness, even being in a relationship with you. Yeah. Because I'm secure in you. Even though, all the craziness that we had going on at one point, I still know that, I'm not thinking about stuff that happened, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 20 years ago. It's, I'm here and we're here now, and we are excited about our relationship. It says, think about the traits you have as a person. You may be nice, trustworthy, funny, kind, or a good communicator. And I think those core principles are things that you have to honor in your relationship.
Yeah.
So know what your value is and know what you bring to a relationship. And like I said, don't try to compare what somebody else doing or how somebody else looks or whatever to what your relationship has going on in it.
Yeah.
Because it's just that. It's your relationship. Okay, so it says, think about how you make the other person's life better. Do you make them feel loved, supported, and happy? These are things everyone wants to feel in a relationship, but many often don't. Focus on what you offer instead of what you feel you lack. Yeah. And I think that's it. Think about the positive.
That's looking at the positive.
Right. More so than the negative. Because 9 times out of 10, a lot of these things that you feel are negatives, you making up in your head anyway. You know what I'm saying? And just like didn't you say at the beginning of this, like, focus on what's good,
what you have done.
Focus on what you've done. Focus on how far you've come.
Because if everybody look at their life right now, even if you feel like you're in the same spot, you're probably not in the same spot.
Yeah.
It's throughout your life, you've helped somebody move forward. You've poured into somebody. You've helped somebody get to another place. You helped somebody take another step. You sacrifice for your family, your friend. It's stuff that you've done And one thing that I've learned that we're wiser with the decisions that we make. And what I
Right.
mean by that is we have an area in our life that where when we do stuff, we do it out the kindness of our heart, not expecting nothing back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, but we have moments in our life where we're wise when we invest in certain things that we expect something back, and that's not even money wise. So if I help someone or we help a couple, through premarital counseling or through a issue or a problem in their relationship, and they put the work in, and then they take the steps, and then their relationship get better. That's the investment, the return we looking for.
But I'll even make it more personal, hun. We do the same thing for ourselves.
Yeah.
We invest in ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In our relationship. We do things for each other.
And that's one thing that I think that we help each other do. We focus on the good stuff.
Right.
We are grateful for the stuff.
Right.
We police our day and see what happened. What's going on. We try to,
and even when the other one try to go off the deep end and talk about the bad stuff, I'm there to say, babe, don't go there. I know that happened, but it ain't what it seems. It's working. It may not look good, but it's working for you good. And you do the same thing for me.
And one thing I always say, and we're gonna move on to the next one. The one thing I always say, we always say, one of our biggest sayings is, we're human beings. We're not superheroes. We're above average people because we're kingdom. But we're not superheroes. We rely completely and totally on God when it comes to situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
We make decisions on certain things, but we always look to be led by God.
Yeah.
But with saying that, what we do, darn, I lost my thought.
Well, we're going to let you pick it back up when you remember it. Got it? Nope.
It just took off.
Well, that's fine.
It left me.
Okay, well, I'm going to lead into the next one, because we're not going to make this a 2-part series, Mr. Mobley. Bless the Lord. So, but we kind of already touched on the second one anyway.
Building your self-esteem.
It's building your self-esteem.
Yep.
Because when you,
I remember.
There was about that? No, okay, well, go ahead.
I remember. So,
okay.
One thing that we always try to do, I always allow you to be human, which means if I pinch you, it's gonna hurt. The response is not gonna, that don't hurt. It's gonna be like, why you did that? And I said that to say, when things happen throughout life, throughout your day, you respond to it, but you just don't stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we help each other do. Mm-hmm. You allow me to feel what I'm feeling, mm-hmm, to get that energy out, but then you pour back into me,
right,
the positive.
Right.
And I do the same for you. Where a lot of people fall short at is where they try to stop the person from feeling what they're feeling. And then that's when you get from your partner, you don't understand.
Sometimes you be trying to rush me into not feeling it, being human. You be like, all right, girl, why you crying? What's that gonna do? No, I'm just playing.
We're not saying that either.
I'm just playing.
I'm about to say,
you know, I got to echo at some point in time.
Whatever, man.
But listen, we are going on to the next one, and we've already been talking about the next one, y'all, because it's called the second one is listed as build your self-esteem. If you don't build yourself up, if you don't affirm your day, if you don't speak life over yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't honor yourself, then who in the heck will? Nobody. You can't expect your spouse to do it. You can't expect your kids to do it, your family to do it. You can't expect your coworker to do it or nobody else. Because people, and I'm reading, y'all, you know we like to look up stuff. It says research shows that people with more relationship insecurity tend to have poorer self-esteem. And I'm gonna tell you something relating to myself, because that's good. When you aren't feeling good about who you are on the inside, it's natural to want to look outside of yourself for validation. That means you don't know who you are. You don't understand who you are. You're not valuing yourself because you don't think that you're worth much of anything. And so you do look for outside people to validate you. You look for outside people mainly your spouse, to validate you, to tell you, well, baby, you ain't gonna tell me I look good today. Baby, you ain't gonna do this, or baby, you ain't gonna do that. Well, then it turns into why? Well, why didn't you tell me I look good today,
Mm-mm.
baby?
Mm-mm.
Why? What? What?
You don't think these pants look good on me? Keisha did at the offer. Keisha said I look good in these pants. Yeah. Who is Keisha?
But
But I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
it's
tell
a
you
dead end.
where
It's not
you.
good.
So, but we're in our relationship, but we do that. You do that way more than I do. You tell me I look good. You tell me I smell good. You tell me a lot of stuff a lot more than I do you.
Mm-hmm.
I know you know that I feel that when I look at you a certain way, or if I talk to you a certain way, but you still want to hear it.
Right.
And that's what I need to really work on that, and that's to this day.
What? Can you say that again? Because we get this on record.
Whatever.
We get
I
this
need to
on
work
record.
on that even to this day. It's sometimes like I'll be working doing something, and it'll be like that. It'll be like that little thing. She'll come out the room looking a certain way, finna go to the store, and then I look up. I'm like, where you think you going? Looking like that, Joker. Go, you better go.
I'm gonna walk down these stairs and I'm gonna go to the store, sir.
But that's something. This is a real life situation right now, guys. This is something I have to work on. I know my wife's self-confidence is good because she believes in who she is. Why you laughing?
Because you always tell me I
Joker,
probably don't need to tell you because you already tell yourself. You walking around here like you already know it.
But I make sure I put things in place.
Yeah.
That I have things in place that you always got an option. You won't get your hair fixed 3 times a week, handle your business. Feet done, nails done, do all that. Handle your business. And I think at one point in time you did it. I'm not sure. You did it to look good, but I think you do it now because you want to mirror what you feel inside.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, and
because I done told you before, Joker. The other day when you walking around here, the hair wasn't fixed. You would've got your hair fixed the same day.
It does change my.
You called me, your whole tone. It was like I talked to a different person.
It changes my attitude when and what's different now is that before I could at least kind of whip it up myself.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm completely lost.
Because you spoiled.
You call it what you like. You call it what you like.
I got you spoiled.
You call it what you like.
Tika shout out a daggone shop because Tika, girl, we invested in you and your business. Salon.
She is bad.com.
She is bad.
But at the end of the day, babe, it's like, there was another transparent moment. There were times when, like I said, I was always used to being Johnny's wife or the girl's mama that, I really, truly didn't, I think I truly didn't value myself.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know who you were.
And you're right. And so, there are moments when they're very, very few and far in between when I, be like, do I really, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? Or, find myself looking at something or somebody else, and that spirit of comparison may try to come in. But where I am now, I got to quickly get myself together, be like, okay, Lord, no, that whatever that is that's trying to come in, I'm not going to allow it, because sometimes you'll get so busy, or sometimes if those thoughts come into your head and you don't sanction, your mind, then you start to compare, like we talked about earlier, to what other people got. But the one thing that I will always remember, it was probably my mama, my grandmama, and everybody else that said it. Don't be so quick to compare yourself to what you have to what somebody else got, because you don't know how they got what they got. You don't know how they keeping what they got. You don't even know that what they got is their own.
And you looking at the outside.
And you looking at the outside.
As soon as you open the door, you might don't want that.
You are absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Build your self-esteem, ladies, and I'm saying this from ladies to ladies. When you try to approve yourself, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about the one of my daughters, she got sticky notes all over the place,
Hey,
affirming herself and
yeah.
and
All on a
and and writing
shower,
scriptures
all on a
and on the
mirror.
mirror, on the room, on the
Sometimes I just
wall.
go use her bathroom just so I can read them. Shoot. I need a little encouragement.
You sickness.
You are somebody.
You are
I am
sickness.
somebody.
Look, God is with you. You
God
will
is
not
with you.
fail.
You are with me, Lord.
Yeah, I'm for real. Like, when you feel good about yourself, Johnny, you feel like you can conquer the world, and you
Yeah.
feel like you can just do anything, and for, like you said, not only just saying, I am loved, I am beautiful, I am whole, I am enough, I am
Yeah.
all these things, but you have to affirm yourself by saying to yourself what God says about you.
Yeah.
Because he affirms you better than anybody else could. And
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely, your affirmations of me is extremely important to me, but what he says about me is first and foremost important.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why I do exude that on the outside, because I'm concerned what the Lord is saying about me, what he's saying to me, and what he thinks and feels and knows that he's crazy about me. So I can't help but exude that.
And then he prove it.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
show up and
My
be like,
God.
I will fight for you right
Yeah,
now. What you want me to do?
And I always say it. I ain't trying to fight nobody in the spiritual or in the natural. Well, you're in the spiritual, yeah, always. But in the natural, because God fights for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
touch on something real quick.
What?
So when I was talking about how I was in school, that had the fear and anxiety because I was in a place where I wasn't sure who I was. So I'm gonna say this: a lot of men deal with that, the fear and anxiety and the insecurity of becoming. And I got this in my book, The GPS of Man's Journey. The one thing that I've always said, one thing that scares a man more than anything is when he begin to be successful at something, if he can keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest fear
Yeah.
was me being a husband and not being able to be a good husband, a provider, a daddy, not being able to be that. So, but this is the thing, a lot of men don't talk about that. They ain't got nobody they talk to about that. Most of the time they have a conversation is always with that single dude or friend they got who out there just living his best life, doing whatever, and you kind of vicariously living through him when he's saying stuff, and you kind of just grabbing a hold of that because you want to feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
So I believe that was my first stages of the anxiety of becoming something bigger, but not thinking that I can handle the responsibilities of it.
Carry the role.
So
Carry that responsibility.
so what was happening is the world was trying to tell me what was gonna happen. Oh, you fine now, you got the six pack. Oh, we want you. Oh, this, oh, that, that, and the other. And then that started to tell me, okay, this is what's gonna happen if you get here. What you gonna do about this? What you gonna do about this? How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? You gonna lose Deidre. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do all this other stuff. So it's like when I finally said, okay, that's it. Because I told you in the beginning, when I asked you to marry me and you said yes, my whole entire perspective changed.
Yeah.
I was then your husband from that day.
Yeah.
So everything in my mind automatically changed. So I began to forward think how I was going to be a better husband, how I was going to do things. So I started picturing my dad and what he did. Started picturing other men, and I saw other people do stuff. I'm trying to do that. And then when I saw the response or the results of what I was getting, I was expecting that I did this and I got this from you.
Yeah.
But I was doing this and I wasn't getting that from you. So I thought that was my fault. So I wasn't being successful as a man, as a husband, as a father. So your mind began to wonder.
Yeah.
I ain't
And I
supposed to be
get
doing
that.
this.
I get that.
I'm just not good at this. I that's when you get that whole statement from a man, y'all will be better off without me. Because while I'm here, I make everything bad. So y'all life will be better without me. Now, is that a cop out? Yeah. But when you got a lost man that don't know who he is, his purpose or nothing, and he trying, and he don't look like he get no results, that fear, anxiety, and insecurity will put him in a hole, a deep, deep hole. That it'd be hard to get out.
Yeah.
It'll be extremely hard to get out.
Yeah. And I'm going to stop you right there because that's leading into the GPS of a man's journey, which will be coming in an episode really, really soon. We're going to finish this one up, babe. And then so we can go to and cap off the next two. But just to tap back into building up your self-esteem, because that truly, I think everything leads from or determines what perspective you're going to view your life in, how you feel about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Feeling.
I'm gonna ask this question real quick. You gonna say what you gonna say, but I'm gonna ask y'all right now. Everybody that hear my voice, I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself this: do you like me? Do I like you? Look in the mirror and say, do I like you?
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead,
do I like you? Because feeling good about who you are is a win-win, not just for yourself, but in your relationship. You get to enjoy the sense of well-being that comes with genuinely liking yourself. And self-confidence is an attractive quality that makes your partner want to be closer to you. When I felt more confident about myself, I saw the way that you viewed me change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello. News break. Self-confidence is attractive. Ladies,
One thing that I did.
self-confidence is attractive.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation. One thing that I did with my wife, I don't know how many years ago, but everything that I used to do, I changed her name to Queen Deidre. Right now on my phone, you look at my phone, her name and her number comes up as what?
Queen Deidre.
My beautiful Queen
Deidre. Yeah.
I've been calling her that. My kids have been
Yeah.
hearing me say that forever. I said that, and I told y'all this on another episode. I've said that so much to my wife. She is a queen now.
Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all some more of these tips and tools because he's trying to go in.
I'm not
to talking about how now I'm bougie.
No, I did not say that.
Because he called me.
You are fully
acclimated to being what he started calling me,
a queen.
What it says you are what
you got
what
years
you become. I became
under
that.
your belt as a queen.
Anywho, I just know I'm confident in who I am,
Queen Deidre.
And that is because when the negativity or when the negative thoughts or when the what I can't do try to come in, I quickly switch those off.
Yeah.
And put in place of it positive thoughts and positive affirmations and positive thinking and positive people, your circle, who you're around, what they saying to you. You know what I'm saying? All that into one helps to boost your, who you are.
Yep.
Boost your confidence. Okay? So, number 3, Mo. Keep your independence. A healthy relationship is comprised of 2 healthy people. Not one healthy person that's trying to pull along another unhealthy person forever and ever and ever and ever. Because becoming overly enmeshed in a relationship can lead to poor boundaries and a diffused sense of your own needs. You do have to maintain your self-identity, even in a relationship. Because like I said, I got meshed into the role of I was Johnny's wife. I was Brianna, Paige, Bridget, Janisha, Brittany's mama. But it never, until years later, it would come to the fruition of, well, who is Deidre? Who are you?
Yeah.
We know you married to Johnny, because you say that enough. We know how long y'all been married. We know when you met. We know how after so many years how many kids you had or what. We know all that. We know
take Johnny out the picture.
We
Who
know
are
the
you?
girl. We know you all the girl's mama and all that. So who are you? What do you like? What do you love? What moves you? What moves you to tears? What motivates you?
Now the great thing about this is keeping your independence in a relationship is an art.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very intentional about how you do this.
Yeah.
This does not mean, and this is me saying this in my relationship.
Yeah.
This does not mean that I go to Brazil for 2 weeks with my boys.
Well, we already that's an episode
that's
gonna come on
not keeping
before
your
this one airs.
independence.
No.
That's not what that is. keeping my independence is me being able to. How can I say this?
You and Clint going and playing golf.
Yeah.
And that's a weekly thing that y'all do. You know what I'm saying? If he was here, that would be something that's comprised of that. You know what I'm saying?
I go play golf. You know, I like to go play golf. You going to get your hair done. I know you like to do that. You going to breakfast with your girlfriends, whatever the case is. You going, you know, the different places, and I'm good with that. You have a life. You have a part of your life that you do without me, but I'm still very, very involved in it.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So there are those moments when I am making time for, you know, my interests or my hobbies, or granted the greater part of our relationship is together because you are my best friend. But you know, at the end of the day, it does include, you know, because when you know, if you say, babe, well, me and so are going to go and, you know, hit some balls or whatever, I ain't jumping up to say, oh, well, I got to be there. You know, I got to go. I got to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or you might be meeting, you know, one of you know, your friends, or, you know, guys from the church, or just whatever. I'm not saying, well, you know, I need to go and be there with you or whatever. Right. Exactly. Like so it's still knowing that, you know, I'm a whole person and you're a whole person.
Right.
And when we come together, we're together, but we're together as two whole people being unified together under God. We're one in marriage, but you can't. I hear a lot of people say this. I was just so lost forever, and you complete me. No.
I don't want to be
God,
the one to complete
right, because then I'm looking for you to make everything right, and for you to validate everything.
I ain't got that kind of stamina.
Exactly, and I ain't gonna put that kind of pressure on you.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you looking for me to complete you, you gonna come up with a lot of incomplete days.
God completes me,
because I ain't got,
and therefore I
got you.
I wasn't always that way.
Yeah,
and I promise you, I wasn't always that way. I wasn't always that way because we've been together for a long time, and you weren't always that way.
Absolutely not.
Sometimes
I'm still not that way.
I can't deal with you. I cannot deal with you. The one thing that I do know, you might try to bump your head or whatever, but I do know that you are very confident in who God created you to be. You are very confident now. There's no self-esteem issues going on. No, you ain't walking around trying to act like, hold your head down and act like you don't know who you are. You are very much aware of who you are. And those itty bitty times that may try to come in where you try to act crazy like you don't know who you are, I'm here to remind you, sir.
I know.
Okay. Amen.
I'm human.
And you do the same for me. You do the same for me. Yeah. Because we have those, we both have those times.
Making time. Did you read the word? Making time for your own friends, interests, and hobbies. Maintaining
financial independence.
And having
self-improvement goals.
Which means if you want to, like when we was going to the gym before all this COVID stuff happened, we was going together. We was doing certain things together, but then we would split apart and do our own thing.
Right.
You had stuff you wanted to work on.
And you'll be like, babe, you coming over here with me? And I'll be like, no, I'm going to stay on the treadmill for a little while longer. Or I'm going to go down here. You'll be like, I'm going to go down here and work on legs. And I would go stay on the treadmill for a little longer, but I would go and work on arms.
Right.
Or go, there'll be times when we would meet back up.
Yeah.
But still, there are goals there are things that I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
There are goals that I still, and even some mornings, like there were a couple mornings that I wasn't feeling good or whatever, but you still went.
Yeah.
A couple of times when you didn't feel like going, or you didn't get a lot of rest because you had been working and stuff or whatever, I'll be like, okay, I'm still gonna go.
I'm still going.
Yeah. And you tell me to be safe. Don't forget to be the individual with thoughts and opinions and stuff like that. I feel like we are complete as a person because God completes us, and we are even stronger and better together because of it. Like I said, it wasn't always that way in the beginning. Now we are.
I need you to bring your part to the table.
Yeah. And I do.
That ain't got nothing to do with no money.
Yeah.
I need you. Yeah. I need you to bring your part, yourself, your worth, your value, what it is that you have, that you carry, that you've been placed on this earth to do. I need you to bring that to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is.
And when I do that, when I am walking in my be-ness, that attracts you to me even more.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
last but not least, trust in yourself.
So I'm gonna start this first because I feel like you've been shushing me the
I
entire
haven't been
time.
shushing you, but you
But I
know you
feel
like to
like
talk and
that's
you like to
fine.
go on forever.
See,
This
you be
part one
trying to
episode
stop
gonna be
me.
2 hours
You know
long.
what? That's why.
I'm sorry. Go
Anyway,
ahead. Trust in yourself.
just said.
We actually already talked about this too, but go ahead.
So this is one of the things I trust you, but if I didn't, I trust myself, my decisions, my thoughts in the part that I play, that I am, that I carry, that I represent, that I'm responsible for in our relationship. I trust me with the certain things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, being a man, just like I talked about before, we are men. Most men work with their hands. We like doing stuff. We like to see if we build something, chop something up, we build it, put it together, bam. We build a house, we build a car, we build whatever. We like to see manifestation results that come. So a lot of times we need to see. We want to see stuff. That's why it's important that you stop in your life, men, and see the good. Pay attention, point out the detail on a daily basis of the good things that you do, that you represent, the decisions that you make. You have to look at that. There's nobody else's responsibility but yours. Now, if you look at your life and your day every day and you have none of that, then that's something that you need to work on. But I can guarantee you, if you got out your bed, you was able to put your clothes on and you went out there and did something, you got some kind of responsibility. You took care of your kid, you took care of your household, you took care of your mother, whatever it is, you did something good. But a lot of times we don't look at that because we don't see the manifestation of that. So we just allow that stuff to go by. I've told y'all before, one of the greatest things that I've ever done in my life, and I can speak for my wife too, is having our children and being who we are in our children's life. We did not see the manifestation the way we should have when they was growing up. Now we sit back and we look at every single thing our girls done, the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
We played a part in that.
Yeah.
We played a part in that.
Yeah.
So I trust the decisions that I make because I make them out of good intentions. I make them based on the responsibility, how it fits my life, the rhythm of how me and my wife do stuff. I trust that.
Yeah.
And because I make the decisions that I make, sometimes I make decisions based on what I think is best for our family. And I don't tell Deidre, but she'll tell me, baby, that was good right there. That was a good decision. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
That helps me. That encourages me. I trust myself. She ain't got to worry about your boy out there doing crazy stuff. I trust myself not to do nothing crazy. I trust myself in the things that I do, the decisions that I make.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to. And just like you said, when those thoughts try to creep up, you have to trust yourself enough and intentionally push that stuff out of your head.
Yeah.
I always say stuff happens and you feel because you're human. And I get that part.
Yeah.
You just cannot stay there.
Yeah.
You cannot stay there.
Yeah. I'd also say just trust yourself enough to be honest in your relationship. Trust yourself enough to know that to be honest about your feelings. I'm honest about my feelings with you.
Absolutely.
There are times when, I may have to cry to get through it, but I trust myself enough to know that I can share my heart with you, and I can share if something's going on with me, or if something is not feeling right between me and you.
You will say something.
I'm gonna say something. I trust myself enough to know that if I'm uneasy about something, that I got to come to you, and we fix what's going on.
Yeah, and I trust that you would do that.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm not perfect, so I don't want
Nobody
something
is,
that I
baby.
miss or I might have overlooked or I might have whatever, and then you see it and you just
Yeah.
don't say nothing.
Yeah.
This is something that a lot of people let me tell you something, y'all. This is trusting in yourself has a lot to do with you not trusting in your what you see. It deals with your insecurities, all the other things that we talked about. It deals with your insecurities, about you not being independent as far as you relying on somebody else too much, your self-esteem, you're insecure about stuff,
Yeah.
and not knowing your value,
Yeah.
which means somebody can do something to you in a relationship.
And
You
alter who
know
you
it,
are.
you
Yep.
see it,
Yep.
and you don't say a
Yep.
word
Yep.
because you hoping that it goes away,
Yeah.
or you thinking that it was something that you did
Yeah.
to make them make that decision to
Yeah.
do it. And here's the kicker: the spouse, the other person, almost always know that they can put the blame on you, and
Yep.
you're the reason why this happened, and you won't go nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not nothing.
And that's you not
that
valuing yourself or
that's you
your
not
own
valuing
thoughts.
yourself.
Or your own thoughts. You know something is wrong, but because you don't want to rock the boat, or you don't want to, you don't want to have
It's
a
a
real
reason.
conversation.
It's a reason, and it got to be me.
Yeah.
It got to be me. Let me explain something to you. There's net if your spouse cheats on you emotionally, physically, whatever the case is, it is wrong. Period. That is an immature decision that you make not to deal with whatever you got going on in your relationship.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
You can blame it on your emotions. You can blame it on all other stuff. But when we have I think a lot of stuff throughout the day. Most of it, I'm working, I'm doing stuff, trying to create stuff, talking to my wife, this, that, and other. Every now and then, something else come in there. But here's the thing. Because that thought comes through my mind does not mean I have to react on it.
Yeah.
It's not a person up under the sound of my voice have not thought other thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, you have the responsibility and you have to intentionally put things in your head to make sure you drown that other stuff out. But we think it.
Yeah.
That don't mean you have to follow through with it, man.
Yeah.
You know it's not right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for you to make a decision like that and do something like that and hurt the other person, whatever the case is, total disagreement with that. That has nothing to do with the spouse, with the other person. That has everything to do with a person being selfish and immature, not want to handle the business. I get, we don't try to have this conversation. Try harder. If you got to do something, get out the marriage, man. Just get out the marriage. If you have to do something like that, get out the marriage. Y'all have never heard us say that before, but that you have to, if you're not willing to fix yourself, if you're not willing to go to counseling, and I'm gonna shut up. If you're not willing to go to counseling, if you're not willing to do what you have to do to make something work, because that's what you do. You've done it in school. You've done it with any sports that you played. You've done it in different areas of your life.
You just have to make a decision.
That's it.
Yeah.
Me and Deidre work right now because we both made a decision.
You making me work, y'all.
Whatever. We both made a decision.
Yeah.
Once we made that decision, that canceled out a lot of stuff that was attached to our life.
Yeah.
Not only did we agree on not getting a divorce, not separating, then we agreed to start making decisions together.
Yeah.
That brought us even closer and canceled out most stuff. Has it been perfect? Absolutely not.
Yeah. But it's not necessary to be perfect.
That ain't what we were striving for, to be perfect.
Right. It's not necessary to be perfect. It's all because all of us got our stuff that come with it. But you have to be intentional and know that you want to remain with that person. Know that you want to be healthy so y'all can, and as individuals, so y'all can be healthy together. So y'all can be trusting together. So y'all can be loving together. You know what I'm saying? Just make it an intentional thing of what you want to see happen.
That's it.
Yeah. Think and kill the comparison piece of it. Don't be so consumed with what other people are doing or what other people are thinking or saying or whatever, because at the end of the day, it's not their life.
Feeling
Focus on yourself.
feeling secure in a relationship depends on trusting the other person, but more importantly, on learning to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself to know that you won't ignore your inner voice when it tells you that something isn't right. That don't e- that has to do with you as a person. Has to do with. Let me tell you something. Last night, I told my wife, I said, "Man, something feel like it's going wrong with my arm and my leg, and it don't feel right. I feel something going on, so I'm around here checking blood sugar, blood pressure, everything fine. I think I just was tired. I don't think I'm getting enough rest.
It's called lack of
I
rest.
know it's called lack of rest. My
Stress.
body, yeah. So, but when my body tell me something, y'all, when Deidre body tell her something, she will wake me up 1 o'clock. Hey, Joker, I need to go to the emergency room.
Oh, that's where we going.
I need to go. Hey,
That's where we going.
so
I sure
gonna wake
did.
me up? We just gonna go
I
to
sure did.
Well, what's wrong? We need to go to the emergency room.
I don't feel right.
Baby, what's wrong? Joker, you not a doctor. Take me to the emergency
Take me
room.
to see what's going on with me.
And guess what? I got up and took my tent, took her to the emergency
sleepy
room.
and all.
But she trusts what her body was telling her. Y'all got even the small things. You know you ain't eating right. You know you drank too much. Why are you smoking all the time? All the time though? Every time. All the time. Your last $5? Really? I don't even know how much weed costs.
All we saying, y'all, is we are for we. I'm about to wrap him right on up because he got all the way on weed. All we're saying is to try to be intentional about being the best version of you that you can be in every area of your life, especially when you're in a relationship, to bring that person to the table so your spouse can enjoy you and so you can enjoy your spouse as well.
Make good decisions. When you make good decisions, it builds your confidence up and trust in yourself.
Yep.
I'ma
Bada
say
boom,
that
bada
again.
bing.
Make good decisions because that builds up your confidence and trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna leave that right now. I'm not gonna say no more. Trust yourself not to hide your feelings. Trust yourself not to make sure your needs are met. Trust yourself that you won't lose your sense of self-identity. Just like Deidre said, she was Johnny Wife for a long time. She's still Johnny Wife, but that ain't her title no more.
That's still a title.
Yes, your title, but that ain't what people see you as now. People see you as you now. I don't know when they see you as Johnny Wife.
Be the best of yourself that you can be, y'all, because he about to get slapped. Do you have anything else to say, honey?
Trust yourself to know that if the relationship isn't working, you will be able to leave and still be wholly functional individual. A wholly functional individual.
That ain't saying just leave them because you.
Yeah, that ain't what that say. And then sometimes even with our couple at the beginning of this, at the top of the episode, even with that couple, just like I said, although the young lady was going through something,
yeah,
just like we said, she was going through something, but it wouldn't hurt her husband to go.
Yeah,
because it's not that something might not be wrong, but he's never dealt with nothing like this before.
Right.
So he need to be equipped.
Yeah.
And that's what counseling does. It equips you to handle stuff that you don't know how to handle.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah. And to that lady, who wrote the letter to that person, just from woman to woman, just like, even for me, it took, my relationship with God, me wanting to get more personal with God in my relationship with him, intentionally wanting him, to lead me and to guide me and for me to, pray more and talk to him more. And, for me, worshiping is a tool where I get to commune with God. For me, that's what it was for me. To be completely honest, that's what it was for me. That is how I began to become comfortable with who I was, Because if I don't know what he says about me, then how can I manifest that, or how can I be that? So I had to, talk to God, talk to the creator to see who he created me to be and what he was saying about me. And the more I read it, the more I said it, the more I heard it, the more I communed with him, the more I worshiped, the more I, just yearned for him, he began to pour into me. And that's what and because he in at the end of the day, like Johnny said, I sound like, my mama and my spiritual mama and all that. At the end of the day, and I'm just saying what I'm saying.
Just saying what she's saying.
I needed that relationship with Christ because only he can fulfill that need and that yearning and that want of wholeness that I was looking for. Yeah.
When you trust yourself, feeling secure is almost guaranteed. If finding this kind of trust in yourself seems very difficult on your own, you may wish to work with a professional.
Go lay on somebody's couch.
And then you sit on somebody's chair, walk in the park with somebody, eat lunch with somebody.
You sickness.
Something.
You sickness.
It's important to remember that no one is perfect. We all come with some baggage. None of us.
All of us.
Everybody come with baggage.
But you just got
some people got money to dress their baggage up. They got pretty baggage, so you take it. Other people got money, but they got enough to buy a big enough house where they can hide their baggage.
Well, we choose to empty our bags.
Everybody come with it. But it isn't necessary to be perfect to be in a happy, healthy, and secure relationship. I'm going to read that again. It is not necessary to be perfect, because no one is, to be happy, healthy, and secure in a relationship. When you take your attention off of what other people think and keep the focus on yourself, you can help become a better, more secure version of yourself. Let me tell you something.
.com, .org,
me and this woman that's sitting across from me, we look in the mirror and we thank God. We look in the mirror and you say, I like you. You gonna have a good day. Hey boy, you looking good today, boy. We do all that because I've learned to like myself. I ain't perfect. I'm imperfected. I'm flawed. But God love me. It don't matter what nobody else think except my wife.
And what he's going to do, and I challenge you men, and there may be some women out there as well, compliment your spouse.
You had to put that.
We're going to put that challenge out there. Compliment your spouse. It's Compliment Your Spouse Day.
Every day. Have we did the roses are red, violets are blue? Did we tell them about that yet?
No, we may have. I don't know. I did tell the wives to write your husband's poems. Or husbands, write your wives' poems. Or wives,
we gonna do.
Write your husband's poems. We write poems. We send poems to each other, and they always start out with roses are red, violets are blue.
Girl, when I get home, I'm going.
And you can put the last two lines with whatever you want to rhyme it. So it's all, like I said, it always starts with roses are red, violets are blue. And you make up the next two lines, but make it rhyme. Yep. You with me?
You want to give them an example?
I'm not gonna give them an example because it's going to be it's going to be.
You can't do a clean
sexual.
One.
Roses are red, violets are blue. My life changed for the better when I met you.
Yeah, off the cuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
you so sick, man. Y'all, we gotta go because we be trying to keep these episodes to an hour, but my lovely husband like to go off on the deep end, and he talks a lot. But guess what? That mouth is gonna get us paid. PAID. So
you know what?
We got to go, baby.
You are not gonna pimp me. All right, y'all. We thank y'all so much as always. We hope that this helped
because it helped
someone. And to the couple in the beginning, we hope that helped you.
The wifey, y'all gonna be all right. Y'all gonna be all right. You're gonna
hit
be
us
all right.
back. Hit us back and let us know what the outcome is, please. We would love to hear from you guys again.
Yeah.
All right.
Some of our information from today, psychology.com. Y'all know we like to give props to these people who be looking up these stuff. And my husband has completely worn on to me. Is that the word worn? You have moved over, pushed. He has pushed me to be a looker-upper.
We are one.
The apple and the tree are
The
one.
apple and
And
the tree
so,
are one.
yeah, so we got some of our information off of there, and we want to be better, y'all. We're intentional about it, and we want y'all to be better. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got to go, y'all. Cause
This
we got
has been Pillow Talk Moments with the Mobleys. I am Johnny Mobley Jr.
and I'm Deidre Mobley
and we are something like an ordinary couple
with extraordinary purpose.
Thank y'all so much. Peace out.
Night night.